Hi again and welcome to my workshop. I've been making some different pens just lately, making my own pen blanks with resin. Some with stamps, some with glitter, some with some homemade military badges, all different types of things. So I've been asked by a lot of people to show how this has been done, how I do it. But I must profess I'm not an expert at this. I've only made about half a dozen, no, maybe a dozen pens with resin. But I want to thank Paul and Brodie for helping me, like giving me information on how to go about it and how to get rid of bubbles, etc, etc. So this will be my attempt at showing you how I do it. I'm not saying this is the only way or the perfect way it should be done, but this is the way I do it anyway. And being an old codger, I'm entitled to do it my own way, aren't I? Yeah, so let's go, shall we? Right, well here's my setup. Give you a close-up view first of some of the pens that I'll be showing you. That's a glitter pen. The reason I've decided to make my own ones of these is people like glitter pens, but a lot of the blanks, the glitter is just on one side. But doing it this way, the glitter is all the way round. That's pink, gunmetal, a red one, and a blue one. Whoops. But also there's the pens with stamps on. So many different varieties you can do with these. There's horses, military uniforms, Lady Diana, Trooping of the Colours, standard pens, standard stamps. I've made some with fishing stamps. I've just got one here that I've done this morning with 3 aeroplanes on, and one I've started doing with pink glitter on. So I'm going to attempt to show you how I go about doing the ones with the stamps on. Now this is ordinary kitchen foil, nothing special. You can get it in different colours. I've ordered some from China. That's copper and gold and silver, I think. Also there's this film that you can get, that you can stick on a tube with Mod Podge and decorate that with whatever you want. It's got to be sealed afterwards. But anyway, back to the foil. All you've got to do is screw it up. Don't roll it into a ball because you'll never get it undone again. Just give it a bit of a crinkle. We normally use a rolling pin to flatten it out, but I don't happen to have one in my workshop for some reason. Perhaps I should make one. There we go. And that's the effect that you get. Now what I'm going to do is stick a bit of double-sided tape on the back of that. I've already done this once today, but I wasn't happy with the video. Scalpel. There we go. Clean the edges off. Then, another thing you can do is just spray paint on the tube. any colour you like, and stick stamps on it or whatever you want to, really. Right, just cut this to length. Roll it round the tube. Joint doesn't have to be in exactly the right place, because once this is stuck down you won't see the joint anyway. And now all we've got to do is try and get the backing off of the double-sided tape. Get in there. Good stuff, this. And there we go. Now all we've got to do is stick that around the tube and on your fingers and anything else that gets in the way. And there we have it. There. And you can't even see the join. Now what I'm going to do is just clean the ends off. And then I'm going to go over it with a permanent marker. Just to change it a little bit, that's all. Nearly there. Oh bloody hell, get off. You get days like that, do you? Right, Sharpies, pen. And then wipe it all off before it dries. Well, I'll wipe a majority of it off anyway. And what it does, it stays in the cracks. I'm doing this one black. I've done blue ones, blue background, and stuck battleships on. Looks quite effective. I've done blue with red and orange and yellow. Give different sunlight effects, and stuck a airplane on them. Nearly there. And there we have a bit more in the middle. I don't know if you can see the difference on camera, but from that to that, just lifts it up a bit and gives it a bit of character. Right, now we're going to stick an aeroplane stamp on this one. No, we won't. We'll stick a policeman stamp on it, shall we? This will be different. Going to stick the stamp at an angle, just because I want to. No other reason. You can stick them up. Whoops, covered the copper's helmet out. That won't do, will it? And now we have, looking good, isn't it? Now what we need to do now is coat that with Mod Podge. A lot of people have said, will PVA do it? Maybe it will, I don't know. I've never tried it. Just that the videos I've watched have said Mod Podge, so that's what I've got. There. Now I've got to make sure this is completely covered. I normally give them 2 coats. Well, not just normally, I do give them 2 coats. Dip the end of the tube in first, just to make sure that the end is sealed, and when you've actually done the moulding and you're ready to turn it, you can clean the inside of the tube up then, but don't do it before you stick it in the resin. Make sure you coat every bit of the stamp, because if you don't, the resin, I done one the other day, you know, I didn't quite get the stamp covered, and actually that part of the stamp got eaten by the chemical reaction of the resin. Dip it in, so be warned. The thing I like about doing this sort of thing is you can make a pen special for somebody. Like I done one the other day for my wife with watch parts. There we go. And as Fanny Craddock would say, here's one I done earlier, so I'll put a second coat on that while I'm doing it. Just to make sure that it is completely sealed. And so that resin makes a right mess of these stamps if they're not. Luckily the one that I done that I hadn't completely got it sealed was one of a battleship, and it had like the sea in the background and a bit of the sky, and where it had rotted away it looked like it had actually blended in with the scenery of the stamp, so I got away with that one. There we go, completely covered. Here's a glitter one I done earlier on, which I'll show you how to do. I'm just going to cover that with Mod Podge. So the reason I'm covering it is because I don't know how the resin will react to the glitter. Now when you're putting this Mod Podge on, it does make it go a bit dull, but when it dries it will be clear. If you're getting bored, go and have a cup of tea and come back when I've finished doing it. There you go. Right, now I'm going to get another tube and show you how I do the glittering. Here's the stuff I use, the glitter. Buy it from Amazon. I can't remember the price of it now, but they do it in all different colours. I think there's a purple one as well, which I haven't got yet. Just going to get a pen tube. Now, we'll do this one, the glitter, on a Zeta. Yeah. I need me a bit of wood out of the other one. Oh dear. go. Paint the Mod Podge on all over. Don't need loads of it for this stuff. There. But I haven't got a different colour out, but there you go. I won't hold you up. In the bag. Give it a good old shake. And, whoops. Touch the side of the bag. And there you go. One glitter pen blank. And that's about it for the moment. Yep. These are the moulds I've made. This one, I've got several of these. I've made out of silicone and corn flour, mixing them together. Quite pliable. The lugs on the inside are to fit inside of the tubes. This is a proper mould material. It's high flex, flexo putty. Got that from Amazon as well. But the only thing I found with them is that the lugs on the inside broke off quite easy. So I drilled them out. I bought a bag of the silicone nozzles on eBay. I think there was about £2 something for a bag of about a dozen, and just stick them in the tubes. Quite simple and effective. And there we have it. That's how I start to do it. So I've got to wait for them to dry and then we'll set them in resin. Don't know if there's anything else I've missed out. Oh yeah, the black paint. There you go. That's the spray paint I use, Simonize acrylic. I buy it on eBay. If you buy 4 tins, it works out about £4 a tin, £3 on a tin. So that can't be bad, can it? Lasts a long time as well. The resin I use is, I can never remember the bloody name of this stuff, Alumilite. It's 2-part resin, comes in 2 bottles, like such, and in with each box you get these little cups that you fill up with measurements on the side, and equal amount of each resin, and just mix them together. Then pour them in your mould. Easy peasy, isn't it? You know the rest of that saying, so I won't say it. Right, I think that's it. Yeah, I'm going to shut down and then we'll come back when everything is ready to progress. Thank you very much. Hi again and welcome back to my workshop, or my sanctuary as I call it. It's a lovely wet day outside, I'll say no more about that. Anyway, I've been asked to say hello to Mark Lewis. Better say it in case he starts bloody sulking. You know what some of these kids are like, don't you? Anyway, today we're going to finish off the video on resin moulding with stamps, glitter, and I've done one with a bit of black braiding on it as well. So hopefully they'll all turn out alright. So I'm going to move over onto the other section in a minute and we'll pick up from where we left off the other day. I hope. Well, here we are. We've set up for doing the moulding. Now these are the moulds I made the other day using equal amounts of silicone and corn flour. And they worked out quite well actually. What I've done, I've lined each one of them with Vaseline. It's supposed to help with releasing the resin afterwards. I don't know, I've never tried it before, so there's a new one on me, as is this sort of thing. I've been asked by several people to make this video. I'm not an expert at it. I'm a complete novice. I've had loads of help and advice from friends that do this all the time. So anyway, here we go. What I use is Alumilite. Get it from Amazon. I can't remember the price now, but it's not that expensive for what you get out of it anyway. Comes in 2 bottles, equal parts. Now I've been told by one of my friends that it's best if you keep it warm, this stuff, because it's heat that makes it go off. So what I normally do is stand it in a cup of boiling hot water and let it do its own thing for a little while. I've got a mixing cup that I mix it up in, some measuring cups that actually come with the resin. So we'll have a couple of them out. And there we go. I think. Pretty sure I've got everything set up. That's the webbing. I bought it on eBay. It's in like a tube. This is a 10mm stuff. And you just paint the tube black and then put it in. If you don't paint it, then you can actually see the brass through the webbing. And that's why I've chosen to paint it, and that's the results I got. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I've also coated it with Mod Podge, as and I've told you already anyway, the stamps coated with Mod Podge. So we've got a policeman, a couple of aeroplanes, pink glitter and black braided, whatever you want to call it. Alright, start off with part A first. Now this stuff, it tells you it's better if you pour it down the side. It doesn't create so many bubbles if you get it to float down the side if you're measuring and your mixing bowl. Equal amounts of each one. Also the warming up, apparently when this stuff gets cold it gets thicker, so it stops the air bubbles from rising to the top, and you have to have pressure pots and all of that. Well, I've never used a pressure pot or anything like that, you know, it's just doing it warm, and it seems to work. My mate Brody had told me to do that. Right, it's part A, and apparently you should always put the lid back on as soon as you've done it, keep the air out. Now part B, equal amount. Oops, poured that in a bit fast. Still don't like there's any bubbles floating around in there. Down the side of the cup again. And it tells you on the leaflet inside, when you start mixing this stuff, it goes like a marble effect. And you know you've finished mixing it when that marble effect vanishes. So if you're one of these that don't like reading leaflets, you've been told. And now we'll stir it slowly and it's starting to marble. I've also turned a heater on in my workshop so that it's nice and warm in here to help this stuff go off. And what I shall do when I've finished out here today, I shall take them indoors overnight to fully cure. And hopefully I'll be able to turn them and show you the end result. So as you can see with this stuff, there's no fancy equipment. Mixing cups, buy them anywhere, can't you, in the pound shops. And that's, I think, about the only extra thing I've bought. Oh, and a few lolly sticks. Oh, and toothpicks. I forgot to show you them. I forgot to get them out. Use them if there's any air bubbles to, and they're not travelling up to the top. Then you can ease them up with the toothpicks. And there we have it, all mixed up. Oh, I haven't fixed anything in the moulds yet. There was no rush. Got lugs on the end of the new ones I've made that fit inside the tubes, as you can see. But this one I made with the proper moulding stuff, and the lugs broke off. So what I've done, I drilled a hole in each end, got some nozzles from silicone and cut them down, and just slot them into the tube. And there we have it. Pink glitter. You like a bit of pink? You heard that song, have you, Lily the Pink? Some of the old ones would have. There you go. Now that's 4. I might have to mix up some more resins. Whoops. Put the lid back on. I like doing as I'm told. And here we go. I like to pour the resin on the tube. That way it's not crashing all the way down to the bottom and creating loads of bubbles. Nice and gentle. All the way along the tube. I mean, what I'm showing you is how I do it. I'm not saying it's the only way or the best way. Just the way I do it. Let's do a small one. I think normally out of one mix I managed to get 3 moulds, if I remember rightly, but we'll soon find out. So the braiding one might have to wait until I make some more tubes up. Looks like I might have to mix some more to finish filling this one up as well. That's the trouble and strife ringing. Oh. Yeah. I don't believe it, I just finished doing all of this and give you an explanation on what I'm doing and found out that the bloody camera turned itself off. There you go. Anyway, that was a trouble and strife from Dog and Bone. She's doing a Ruby Murray and she wanted some ingredients out of the box outside, so Had to go and get them. Now I've just been saying to a turned off camera, these three have worked out fine, no bubbles at all. But the one with the braiding, I think the braiding itself must capture bubbles. And there's loads and loads of them. So what I'm going to do with this one as an experiment, I'm going to stand it on the radiator. See if that'll heat the resin up anymore and make the bubbles rise up quicker. I suppose really for that you need a pressure pot, which I'm trying to avoid buying, I've got to be honest. They're a lot of money for the few that I'm going to end up doing. But the good stuff with this, what's it called? Alumilite, is that it don't stink like a lot of the resins do. And that's the only reason I've never done them before, because of the smell. But this stuff, great. No smell whatsoever. Amazing, as it says on the bottle. More tissue paper. Anyway, I'll be turning these in the next few days and show you the end results. And that's about it really, I think. I'm sure some of the experts will be along and tell you about stuff that I've forgotten to tell you. Because as I say, I'm no expert at this, I'm a learner myself. But I've had lots of requests about doing these ones with the stamps in. So I thought better do as I'm told, eh? Anyway, see you later, goodbye, and goodbye to Mark Lewis as well. Well, what I've done, I've warmed that one up with the braiding in it. And it seems to be working, but what I've done, I stood it on the table with my fretsaw running, and the vibration is bringing them all up to the top. Ready to just pick off and hopefully create a clear blank. And vibration certainly seems to be doing the job. So I'll just leave it on there for 5 minutes or so and hopefully that will solve the problem. Cheerio again.